Well, I hope everybody's doing all right tonight. Welcome. This will be our February work session. We look at our agenda. We have a number of presentations we'll be doing Thursday night, number 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. But today we have a very special presentation. And I'm really honored to have the representatives from our electric department being here. If they could all come up forward. We're going to have a presentation, American Public Power Association National Commendation to Concord Electric System for power restoration in Forest City, North Carolina after Hurricane Helene. If you could come forward, I'll meet you down there.
Electricians never smile. There's got one. The young one. Yeah, he's not there yet.
They're just electric. As everyone knows, up in the western North Carolina, we had some towns that had a lot of problems to the point that some lost their electric system. And we were called upon to help Forest City, North Carolina. And you and your staff all did just a fantastic job to get them back. But I want to read from the American Public Power Association some comments and notes that I think I'd like to get on the record for us. The American Public Power Association awarded Concord Electric Systems a national recommendation for their work restoring power to homes and businesses in Forest City. Through a mutual aid agreement, 9 of our line workers went to Forest City. They spent 7 days rebuilding the town's severely damaged electric system. They cut trees, replaced power poles, lines, transformers, and helped with the cleanup and service work. The team from Concord, including Jack Rushing, Chris Aldridge, Chandler Rice, Larry Barbie, Cyrus Dillinger, Clint Meese, Tristan Langston, Tim Furr, and Jason Sartain. We are proud of these men. Let's give them a round of applause. And carrying it forward with this, when our neighbors need help, we're always out there to do what we have to do. We don't hesitate. We just figured out what it takes to do it, and you're prime examples of how that works. You worked long days with tough conditions and did not quit until the lights were back on. Officials from the town of Forest City called, and they called our team a godsend, and residents shared their deep appreciation. To express our gratitude, Jack Rushing was invited to be a special guest at their annual tree lighting ceremony. To have power back to do that is just absolutely amazing. It symbolized the town's residency and the power of the community. Coming together through mutual aid is not only to restore power, but restore lives. And again, I want to thank you all for what you've done and what you always do to help citizens of Concord and the rest of our citizens in the state. Thank you very much. Jack?
Yeah, I'd like to say, when we got up to Forest City, 95% of the system was down. We got the privilege of working with Statesville and New Bern up there, but I can't say enough about these guys right here because we left an impression when we left what Concord gets every day from us. People was coming out there at the streets, out in the houses, and just congratulating us. Said they ain't never seen nobody get power on up so quick up there. We was doing it, but these guys done a heck of a job. I was proud to be there with them, and I can't say enough about them. I'll go out of town again with them, you know, and I appreciate them.
Any other comments you'd like to make? You're not speaking?
No.
Wow.
You guys said you already over there.
Hey, we got to eat supper sometime.
Okay, yeah. That's where I was going with that, by the way. But again, thank you. Council would also like to thank you personally, if you could just turn it around, and each of the council members. What do you want us?
That you're gonna reassemble
Yeah,
here.
yeah.
Actually, on this side.
Okay. So we're gonna regroup right here. Right now? Get a shot. Thank you.
No, 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 I'm just shooting over you.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, here we go, right here together. Let's, LJ says he wants us, come on in here in the middle with me here. And how about one, LJ, how about one here with presenting the certificate? Okay. Again, thanks, everyone. Thank you.
You were sitting there for a reason.
Public safety.
All right. Pretty exciting. To move on now to department reports will be on Thursday. We'll have Parks and Rec bond update and downtown streetscape update. This will be our last official report. We will have reports coming back if things change or need some additional information. Public hearings. Number one, conduct a public hearing pursuant of NC General Statute 158-7.1 to consider granting a 3-year 85% tax-based economic industrial spec grant to HSREI LLC to locate on Defender Way in Concord.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Call on Sam from Cabarrus EDC. She's here to address the public hearing items 1 and 2, which are related and part of the same project. So Sam, if you would.
And then who's that other guy with Sam?
Who did come in with me? I think you all know him very well. Glad to have him on our team right now, for sure. Good afternoon, Mayor, members of the council, Mr. Payne, Ms. Kolchinsky, and Ms. Deason. Thank you all for the opportunity to present Project Toolbox. As was mentioned, there's 2 components to this. The developer of the building, the real property investment, and the company who will be creating the jobs and making the personal property investment. So HSREI LLC is proposing to develop another industrial project at 4295 Defender Way, Concord, 28027. Hendrick would develop a 204,045 square foot building at the Advanced Manufacturing Center on 10 acres adjacent to Hendrick Motorsports Campus, comprising 65 to 70 million of high-quality construction. The building design will attract a premier advanced manufacturing tenant, and we'll share those details here in a bit on the tenant side. The new building will have a common look, fit, and finish as other buildings on campus. Again, the projected investment is estimated to be between 65 to 70 million in real property investment. The City of Concord grant analysis is based on that estimated projected investment range. HSREI is asking for your consideration of a 3-year, 85% economic development grant. The estimated grant for the 3-year term is between $696,150 to $749,700. The net revenue to the city would be over $120,000 during that grant term. So happy to answer any questions you have.
Thank you. Any questions from council?
Okay.
Thank you very much. Item 2.
All right, so the company, the tenant for Project Toolbox is Motorsport IP Acquisition Company, LLC. This project would support the development of the power unit, the engine, for the Cadillac F1 vehicle. The project aims to design and test a state-of-the-art engine capable of meeting Formula One standards. The goal is to have the engine ready for integration into the vehicle by 2028, ensuring Cadillac's competitive debut in Formula One. The address again for this project is 4295 Defender Way, Concord. It is anticipated that construction would commence in the first quarter of 2025, with occupancy in the first quarter of 2027. The project would involve significant investment in new manufacturing, R&D, and information technology equipment, and the hiring of skilled, highly skilled employees in manufacturing, engineering, and research and development. The facility is on an accelerated project timeline, and the need to construct a new facility in there's a need to construct the facility here in North Carolina to accommodate that project and that timeline. It is anticipated that initial operations would occur in the existing General Motors facility already here in Concord, located at 4540 Fortune Avenue Northwest. They would plan to create between 300 and 350 new full-time jobs by 2028, with averages well above our current county average wage. Projected investment is estimated to be between 75 to 85 million in personal property. City of Concord grant analysis is based on that estimated projected personal property investment. The company is asking for your consideration of a 3-year, 85% economic development grant. The estimated grant for that 3-year term is between $655,988 to $743,453. Net revenue to the city during that grant term would be over $115,000. So the total for the two projects, both real and personal property, would be between 140 to 155 million. Again, happy to answer any questions.
And jobs that pay 100 to 100 and,
Yes, and our current county average wage actually went up. It's $51,469, but still well above that.
okay.
And with both projects, how many jobs?
300 to 350.
Okay, thank you.
I'm just curious if I may ask, do you have any idea, do they ever make commitments to hire employees from Cabarrus County, or do they mostly just bring them in from other places, other research and development centers that would maybe transfer them here to Cabarrus County?
That's not a requirement of the grant, of course. They try to hire within the community, within the region, but that would attract folks from outside of the region or even outside of the state for those high-wage jobs, high-skilled engineering jobs especially. Sure.
Yeah, I think that's important from the fact that, like Lily's example, 70% are coming from our region. So,
Absolutely.
So there's a lot of talent that I just.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes, and a lot of folks that were in the motorsports industry
Yep.
that could, move to this side as well.
Okay. Any more questions? All right, thank you, Sam.
Thank you.
Number 3, conduct a public hearing pursuant to NC General Statute 158-7.1, considering a grant 3-year 85% tax base for Mackler LLC.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. So Cassie from Planning Department is going to present this item to council this evening.
Good evening, Mayor, members of council, Mr. Payne, Ms. Kolchinsky, and Ms. Deason. Hope you're all doing well this evening. This one is will be a grant for a 3-year, 85% tax-based municipal service district economic incentive grant to Mackler LLC for a tenant investment at 14 Church Street Southeast for an investment of $475,000 in real and personal property. This will be, Mackler LLC proposes to develop approximately 2,565 square feet of commercial space into a bar with an arcade, pool, dart games, and TVs that will serve as the dive bar. There's several of these around in the general region. They do very well, apparently, and they'll offer food, drinks, and a fun atmosphere. And I will be happy to answer any questions if you have any regarding this.
Any questions?
You have some slides. These were presented to you, I believe, last month. It'll have 12 new jobs. There's a sewer allocation associated with it, 1,175 gallons per day. I already went over the other stuff, and that's the building that it will be in.
We're happy to see somebody else moving in downtown.
This is the interior. They did some sealing of the brick. It's a really neat space. They've done a lot of work so far. They're really looking forward to hoping that, could go forward. And this is the grant analysis overview. As you can see, it's not what the grant would be. It's not a huge revenue, but after the 3 years, but it is a, a good project we feel good about.
When do they plan to open?
They would be looking to open within the next few months,
Okay,
depending on it,
in a short time span.
in a short time, yes, sir. They've kind of got the, their template is kind of set already since they've done it in a few other municipalities.
Any other question? All right,
Okay?
thank you.
All right, thank you.
Number 4, conduct a public, I like the name. Conduct a public hearing, consider adopting an ordinance annexing 5.01 acres at 520 Crestmont.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Alden from the Planning Department will provide the staff report on this item to council.
Good afternoon, Mr. Mayor, members of council, Mr. Payne, Ms. Kolchinsky, and Ms. Deason. This is an annexation petition for 520 Crestmont Drive. 520 Crestmont Drive is owned by the applicants Jordan and Margaret Hall, and it's approximately 5.01 acres. It is currently zoned RM1 in City of Concord's ETJ, and the proposed zoning is City of Concord RM1. Council did hear the preliminary application for sewer at the July 11th, 2024 meeting. It was explained at that time that the current septic system was failing. And at that meeting, council did vote to have the applicant proceed to the final application phase, including voluntary annexation. Since this parcel is located in the ETJ, the surrounding zoning does match with the proposed zoning. So you can see the RM1 there. And it also aligns with the 2030 land use plan, which is designated as suburban neighborhood. So adjacent property owners and HOAs were notified by mail of the annexation petition on January the 28th, and it was also advertised in the Independent Tribune on February 1st. So your next steps would be to consider this request and adopt or deny the annexation. And if there are any questions, I'm more than happy to answer those.
Have there been any responses back?
I had one phone call just asking what the annexation was for, but that was it.
Okay. Question from council? Okay. All right. All right, thank you very much. All right, moving on to presentation petitions and requests. Number 1, consider approving a benefit plan rates for the City of Concord fiscal year 26.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. So Dominique from Gallagher, our consultant, is here to present this item to council this evening.
Thank you. Mayor Dush, members of council, Mr. Payne, Ms. Kolchinsky, Ms. Deason. We are pleased to continue to provide 3 competitive medical plans. There's no recommendation to change any of the medical plan designs. We are projecting an increase to the medical budget, which is still in line with the trend that we have year over year. Overall, the City of Concord plans have run well, and coworkers have benefited from no increase for the last 5 years. However, this year we are proposing a 5% increase to the medical contributions. Medical, vision, and so on remain the same for coworkers. Are there any questions?
All right. Any question from council? And just to be clear, when you say the 5% increase, can you point out which column that is?
Yeah, if you,
The increase
Mr. Mayor, if
last
you notice
column.
on the right-hand side, that right-hand column is the actual impact to the employees. You can see in the high-performance plan, the coworker only, there's no increase there for with the incentive or without, but you can see that monetary impact. Again, this is be the first increase in 6 years.
Okay. All right. Any question from council? All right. Thank you very much. Number 2, consider approving update of Article 6, leave of absence, City of Concord personnel policy and procedures.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Chantel will cover this one.
Good afternoon, Mayor Dush, members of council, Mr. Payne and Ms. Kolchinsky, and Mrs. Deason. The city aims to maintain its status as a preferred employer by providing competitive benefits and paid leave for full-time coworkers. To enhance our recruitment of experienced candidates and to ensure that we remain a preferred employer, we're proposing an update to Article 6, leaves of absence, of the city's personnel policies and procedures. We're recommending to allow all verified sick leave from previous service with the North Carolina Government Employees Retirement System and/or North Carolina Teachers and State Employees Retirement System to be credited in the coworker sick leave accrual bank at hire. Additionally, to retain existing city staff, we recommend updating sick leave accruals and vacation accruals to include the full amount of previous credible service as documented with NC Ledgers and NC Tasers for full-time coworkers. I'm happy to entertain any questions.
Any question from council?
I have one question. So pretty much this is if I worked for, say, in the school system, or if I worked for another municipality and I had time that I had accrued, sick and vacation, I will be able to bring that to the city of Concord? Is that?
Almost right.
Okay.
So if you have previous credible service with any entity that participates in the local government retirement system or tasers, the time that you have at that company will be credited for our accrual system. So we have a tiered system that goes from 0 to 20-plus years. And when you come in currently, you receive credit for only half of that time. We're proposing to give new hires and existing employees credit for 100% of that time. And as far as sick leave, when you come in as a new hire with credible service, you come in with no sick leave in your bank. What we're proposing is that if you have credible service, we are able to put 100% of that sick leave in your bank.
Okay, thank you.
I'm very pleased with that. I think it's great for recruiting.
And I will just make an additional comment on what Chantel said from a recruitment standpoint. We see other governments going towards this, but by us, for example, if you come to the city and you've spent 20 years at the county, and you come here and you're at the county perhaps with 20 years of service, you're receiving 4 weeks of vacation a year. When you come to us, you realize that you're only going to get credit for 10 years, and then you fall into that category for accrual at the 10-year piece, which may be only 2 weeks with the city of Concord. So if you're, a prospective employee and you're really down to the wire on which government perhaps you're going to go to, if you don't get credit for all of that time, then that severely impacts your ability to earn vacation time. And so it gives us a competitive edge, we think, moving forward from a recruitment standpoint, to have that.
Okay.
Yeah, that's correct.
All right, thank you very much. Item 3, consider adopting a resolution authorizing eminent domain action for parcel located at 620 Main Street.
This
Valerie?
one's mine, Dirk. This one's mine.
Yeah. So Dirk, you want to talk about eminent domain on some?
I'll let you
Come
do it
on
if you
up,
want
come on
to.
up, Dirk.
So the good thing is the big signs that we post on our eminent domain properties, they work. So we did hear from one of the heirs, and they did not want the city to take the entire parcel. So we're back asking for the easements only so that we can fix the stormwater culvert on Main Street. And I'll happy to ask questions.
This is not germane, but I'm gonna ask it. There's 10 years of unpaid taxes on that property. So how interested are they in the property, and what happens to the unpaid taxes?
So from what I understand, and this is just somebody telling me something, I don't have actual factual documented information, there may be some sort of messy step-sibling situation going on, so they haven't settled the estate, and my understanding is that's why the taxes haven't been paid. Further than that, I don't know.
So do we send the tax bill to the step person?
I don't know who the county sends the tax bill to.
I'm just saying.
Or if I ask my sister to send you a letter, can I quit paying my taxes?
We're just asking. We're just asking.
So I will also candidly say that when properties are in this kind of situation, the county, through the system that they use to go after tax collection, there's a sort of a balancing act that they have to do. How much is it going to cost us to go through the collection action? Because they're going to have to advertise in the newspaper for service because it's in a state and all that. And then how much return are we going to get? So, I mean, there's a fair number of parcels that have unpaid taxes for a long period of time, but it doesn't make economic sense to go and do the collection because it's costs more to do that than you can get from the taxes.
Understand. Thank you, Council.
Thank you. Any more questions? All right. Number 4, consider authorizing city manager to execute a lease extension with DK Aviation Properties LLC.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. We'll ask Dirk to make another entrance and cover this item for council this
Sorry
evening.
about that. I had my copy from Thursday. So you have a request, Mayor, members of council, Mr. Payne, Ms. Kolchinsky, Ms. Deason. You have a request here from DK Aviation wanting to extend their lease for a total of 40 years. Process that we have followed is consistent back in 2018 when we did a similar reversion deferral fee analysis and recommendation. If council has agreed, the extension for a total of 16 years, they will pay us $275,000. That will be through a 4-year installment plan. First payment is $68,750 upon execution of the lease agreement. And then thereafter, on the anniversary date, another check for the next 3 years after. And that is consistent with FAA policy on grant assurances and leases.
With FAA policy and others, we have,
Yes, sir, we've done this. Yes, sir.
we're being consistent. All right. Any questions?
Thank you.
Thank you, Dirk. 5, consider accepting a preliminary application from Cheryl and Jerry Baxter.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. So Jackie will come forward. She's going to cover items 5 and 6 to round out your regular agenda this evening.
Good evening, Mayor, members of council, Ms. Kolchinsky, Ms. Deason, Mr. Payne. Cheryl and Jerry Baxter have submitted a preliminary application for water service outside the city limits at 2436 Miami Church Road. This 4.56 acre parcel is low-density residential with a double-wide mobile home overlay. It's within Area B. The owners wish to build one new home. A private easement will be required for the water service from the adjacent parcel, which Mr. and Mr. Baxter own. So the recommendation is to accept the application and have the owners proceed to the final phase, excluding annexation.
Any question from council? Okay, all right. Number 6.
Okay. This is consider adopting changes for the Concord sewer allocation policy. So at our last sewer allocation meeting on December 17th, a project proposed potential scope changes that has initiated us to make some changes to the policy. We anticipate that we may get more requests for this in the future, so to address it now in our policy would be prudent. So the change would be the project and the associated final allocation shall not change significantly from the scope of the project that was initially approved with the original PSA. So City Council would reserve the right for the final determination of what constitutes a significant change, which would be considered monthly at a regular item on the agenda. Any questions about this proposed change?
Any question from council?
Can we have a second to digest that one more time? So is it in the packet? Where is the change in the packet? Did I just miss the?
There's 2 of them.
Yeah.
2 of them attached.
So is it the first one or the second one?
Those are they're the same, but one is shown in Word format and one is a PDF.
Yeah, that one's got some purple.
Ah,
And then
I was on the
and
second
then
one.
that one's got the
okay,
rezoning.
perfect, thank you.
I see it, yeah.
Kim's not here. That part has been removed, so the rezoning is already in your PSA your packet when you review that, it cannot be a attribute that you, has a negative to it.
I want to make sure everybody caught that. The last clause of the agenda item adds requires rezoning to the project attributes list. That's not part of this. Okay.
Got it.
Yeah, I understand, but it's not being, you're not being asked to consider it.
So we're not voting on that.
Correct.
So is it coming off of the?
Whether a project requires rezoning or not will still be part of your information packet, but it will not be considered a negative attribute. And there's reasons.
All right.
Thank you.
Jennifer, you okay? Okay. Any more questions? Everybody got it? All right. Thank you. Anyone want to bring anything off the consent agenda? All right, we'll let that stand. Before we go into closed session, in front of you, you have a document dealing with our March 8th council retreat. The agenda items that we've talked about so far, does anybody have, you don't have to do it right now, but any discussion points that you might have, let's bring them forward so we can make sure that we cover what we need to or anything we want to add to this. Okay. Okay. So, if, I need it by Thursday. So when we finish our meeting Thursday, that's the last thing we'll bring back up, and whatever you've got, let's talk about it. In addition, if you have anything to email me along the way between now and then, that's fine too. But I'm going to present everything to council on Thursday. All right, well, with that said, I need a motion to go into closed session pursuant to NC General Statute 143, 318, 11A, 3 and 4, in order to consult with an attorney to protect the attorney-client privilege and discuss location or expansion of industries or other business in the area served by this public body. Is there a motion?
So moved, Mayor.
Second? Got a motion second. All in favor, raise your hand. Thank you very much. We are in closed session. Everybody have a good one. See you on Thursday.